Welcome to Kumbasoft DPAA tutorials. This tutorial is a third in a series about just getting everything set up and getting working, and then this video describes to you a number of things that you might see when working with DPAA and with others working with DPAA that might be informative to you. So to get started, we're kind of picking up where we left off in the Managing Appliances video, but we've kind of set up a scenario where we can show you quite a number of things that are useful. And we've already set up our categories in our appliances, and we have a number of domains. And now we have all these interesting symbols all over the place. We have a bunch of stuff that's showing to us, and we want to explain what all of this means. So for right now, the categories are easily identified in DPAA with these fractional numbers next to them. And basically what this means is the number to the right is the total number of appliances within that category, and the number to the left is the total number of appliances to which DPAA has an active connection. So we can see, like in this all domain, it's all category, that DPAA automatically creates for you there are 5 total appliances, and that's these 5 appliances down here, those 5. But only 4 of them have a connection to it, and I can just glance at the appliances and tell you that this is the one that doesn't have a connection, and that's because of this symbol sitting right next to it. But if I don't have this appliance selected and I select something else, I can quickly see also this color coding. So if you don't have the appliance selected and it turns red like this, it means DPAA has lost its connection to that appliance for some reason. And it could be any number of reasons. Somebody else may have restarted the appliance may reload, you may have a bad network connection or a network connection not to it, your credentials may have changed. There can be a lot of reasons why you don't have an active connection to an appliance. So this is what it will look like when not selected, and this is what it will look like if it is selected. So if you are working on this appliance and all of a sudden you see this thing show up, it means that you've lost your connection to that appliance. Now, the categories will turn yellow if some of the appliances don't have a connection to them. So in these cases, you see that there's still 2 appliances to which GetAPower has connected of 3 within this category, or 1 of 2 or 2 of 3. In this one, it's colored normally. There's 2 appliances connected of 2 appliances within the category. If all of the appliances in a particular category go down, this will also become color-coded red to just quickly indicate to you, and of course this number will be 0 of whatever, and that will be a quick indication to you that something has gone wrong somewhere and you've lost your connections. It may not be that your appliances are down, it could be some other reason. If I select this appliance and we see this little symbol right to the next of it, this symbol means this appliance is quiesced. And the way to quiesce an appliance is to select an appliance and click this button up here above the appliances list. It says quiesce the selected appliances. So you can quiesce your appliances in this way. When you select that appliance, you still see that it's quiesced, but you also see all of its domains are quiesced as well, which is what you would expect to see when an appliance is quiesced. To unquiesce the appliance, you have a number of actions that you can take among these buttons, and we mentioned this first one where you can quiesce an appliance. Well, likewise, you can unquiesce an appliance by selecting this icon. And of course, it'll say, hey, I'm going to unquiesce that. You get a feedback window that tells you, hey, I'm going to unquiesce that. And here in a little bit, all these symbols and this symbol will eventually go away for that appliance. While we're waiting for that, I'm going to go select this other appliance, and you see some other interesting icons next to the domains of this appliance that I have now selected. And you can see now this appliance is no longer quiesced, the symbol's going away. But to continue, we can see that, well, we see the same symbol next to a couple of domains in this appliance that we've selected here. And that indicates to me that, oh, these domains are quiesced. And likewise, to quiesce a domain in DPAA, I can select a couple of domains, and I can select this button here to quiesce a domain. To unquiesce a domain, in the same way as we do appliance, select any number of domains using Control or Command click, and then you can select the button that unquiesces the selected domains, and it's going to ask you, and then you get the indicator that you're unquiescing those. And again, we now see the symbols have gone away. They're not quiesced anymore. The data power appliance has woken them up, and those symbols then go away. When we see the little diskette icon, it means that a configuration change has been made in these domains, but not yet saved. It's equivalent to being if you were if you were logged on to a data power appliance via the web UI, it would be telling you, you've got to save the configuration. And the way to do that is you can select any number of these appliances, and then you can select this Save button, which is located above the domains list. So I can select that button, and I can save those domains from the appliances or appliance that I have selected. So that's what DPAA just did. Now, if I had this situation in all of them, I would have to have selected more than one appliance to get that action. Now you see the diskette icon has now gone away. The little bug icon you see on this appliance indicates that the appliances had debug logging on. They're in debug mode. So you get that warning too when you log into the appliances. Now the way to fix this is you go to the Logs tab. And when you get the list of logs, you select the default log. And then all I have to do is go to this button above the logging targets, select this button, and change the logging level from debug to something else. And then once I do that, it goes and sets the logging level of that default log for this selected appliance domains I had. And then eventually, these icons will go away, as you just noticed they did, but they've been replaced by the Save icon, which means I've changed the configuration of this default logging target by changing its logging level, and now I have to persist that connection or persist that change by selecting the Save icon, and then I can go about doing that, and then we can clean all of that up. Next to this domain, we see a stethoscope icon. And what that stethoscope icon means is that at least one service within this appliance or this domain within this appliance is a debug log turned on. I just happen to know what that is, and we'll get into all these other functions later, but I just happen to know what that is. I'm ready to pull up my multi-protocol gateways, and I happen to know this is the one we have the probe turned on. So all I had to do is I can disable the probe for this service, and DPAA tells me it's done that, and eventually this icon will go away. Notice we slowly been cleaning up all of these icons along here to get rid of them so that we're fixing the systems and we're solving the other problems. And as you can see, now the multi-protocol gateway probes have now been turned off. So the other things that we have to see here is that above the appliances list, we can do one more thing, and that is we can restart the appliances, reload the firmware on the appliances. So I can select any number of appliances here, and I can select this button to reload the firmware on those appliances. It's a quicker than a restart. It just reloads the firmware, and sometimes that solves a lot of problems you might be having with a particular appliance. Above the domains list, we had two more actions we haven't yet discussed, which is the ability to restart a domain. So we can restart any number of domains we have just by selecting this button. And the next button over is a quick way to create a checkpoint for a domain. So if you're working within DPAA and you know you're about to go make a bunch of configuration changes to these domains, you might want to just snap a checkpoint. Now those selected domains, and then you can do it on more and more appliances at a time, and you can go snap a checkpoint, and then you can go about making your changes and doing your work in there. And if you need to roll back at that checkpoint, you can at a later time. You can't do it within this screen because these are just quick action buttons, but at the end of the day, you'll be able to do that with DPAA as well. So I hope this was helpful to you. I hope that you were able to understand everything about setting up your appliances, getting categories created, the useful information provided by categories, the useful way we can select more than one appliance in a category all at one time, the different symbols that show up in your domains and your appliances to provide feedback information for you immediately. Now, keep in mind somebody else may be working on DPAA or not within these appliances, you may start seeing those symbols start to show up. Somebody turns on debug logging, you'll get a little bug icon. Somebody turns on probes, you'll get an icon. You'll know that something is happening and actively going on within those appliances. The only two symbols you didn't see were the diag mode symbol and the trace enabled symbol that will also show up next to the domains. We don't have those been in this ephemeral, but it is available. So, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, or you want to try a license, go out to www.kumbasoft.com, select the contact us link there, and put in your information to somebody from Kumbasoft. We'll get back to you. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.